Hello friends, it's Armstrong here from Other Miniatures, and today I have some sort of an odd idea. So what you see in here is a pile of remaining pieces from different projects. The only thing that isn't actually like a remain piece, it is this. This is a, I think it is Cador Walker, one of those, Necromunda things. And I was planning to convert it. I already converted one, and this one was, supposed to be the second one. Then I kind of forgot about it, and it was just laying in the pile of minis for a while. So what I decided to do, I decided to make my first kind of a Rough Rider for my Penal Legion. And we're going to be using this as a base. I don't know if it's going to be Rough Rider. Technically, Rough Riders have those weird spears, yeah? So we're going to be leaning into that a little bit, but not absolutely. So it's going to be a flyer. So it's going to be sort of a jet bike. These are for the legs. So yeah, it doesn't make much of a sense, but whatever. I know that I have both of those legs here because I did especially put attention to find them both. There we go. So the position on this is kind of horrendous, yeah? Like if I have to travel like that, I would probably, quit. But, this is Necromunda, and a lot of things is kind of stupid. And a lot of things is kind of fun. So yeah, let's just put this butt together, because I don't think that I have the main body somewhere, or if I have it, I have no clue where it is. So we have legs, we have this. Now, I was thinking it requires a weapon, and I have this entire artillery piece from the from Imperial Guard. So why not use it as a weapon for this? You may say it is too big. Yes, it is. But on the other hand, this is my own little project, and if something is too big, I don't really mind. So let's just try to attach it somehow. It's gonna be a tough squeeze, and it's gonna probably be a nightmare to put together. Okay, come on. It's gonna be probably me sitting like that for 10 minutes to get this glue together with a, plastic glue. But that's one side, yeah? And then I was thinking, I need something equally big on the other side. But then I found this. Yeah, it is a shield from, what do you call them? From Ogrins. It has this big Imperial Aquila on it. And I'm like, okay, I might make it symmetrical, or I might make it scrappy. So I decided to make it scrappy. So we're gonna put that shield in here. But I'm just thinking if I want to put something around this first. It's not really necessary. Yeah, so it's gonna be the like a wing from the X-wing fighter. That's what I was thinking at the beginning. Just grab two of those, put them on both sides, but I couldn't find the second one. So I'm assuming that I either use it on one of the Ogrins or on two of the Ogrins, because there should be three of them. Or I did something equally silly, yeah? Actually, I'm just thinking this connection is gonna be very bad. So let's use the magic in the battle. And by magic in the battle, I mean sprue goop. Yeah? Because I don't trust this connection for anything. And let's put that giant Imperial symbol on this. And give it like 30 hours to dry, because sprue goop have this tendency to take ages to dry when you apply it in the little bit thicker form. Alright, so I have two pieces of this done. And now, this is how far my plan went so far. So I have giant weapon, I have a, I don't know, wing stabilizer, whatever on the other side. Yeah, it kind of looks okay. Then I was thinking I have this thing. I think it is from Sentinel piece kit because I make it closed, so I didn't bother to put the driver in. So I'm just thinking maybe I'm gonna put those screens in here as a control unit. Of course, I'm gonna have to make some cutting and stuff, but it might be added in here on top of this because this already look like a gas tank, yeah, and it have the hole for the fuel. So this might be a control unit. Let's try that. Like worst case scenario, this video never gonna get published or something. But I'm thinking that we may make something out of it. So snappy snap. It just felt like it did go up when I was cutting. Yeah, I have feeling that I need a blade for this. And I feel like I shouldn't have been gluing this stuff beforehand. But hindsight is 2020. You know what? I'm just gonna disassemble this for now. It's gonna work either way. So let's just try to do this screen first. Then we're gonna try to assemble it. If I need to, I'm gonna use a super glue in conjunction with the plastic glue. Conjunction, I guess. So now if I put this like that, it is kind of silly. So if I want to put it maybe like this, so I need to cut more into this. I need to cut it under the angle. Maybe something like that. Yeah, I think that taking off the other pieces was actually a good idea for now on. Let's see. That's better, but not there yet, so we need deeper cut. Let's see. I think that that's gonna work. I have a feeling, the problem is then this side, yeah? It kind of messes up this side of the build. So we're gonna have to figure out how to fill it up with some gribblies. But now let's try to glue it together and hope for the best, expect the usual. So this goes like that. Be patient with yourself, Seb. Be patient. So you have a display screen with some sort of controls, yeah? Like I said, the problem is this side, this entire side now looks like it looks, yeah? I don't want to use French here, but yeah, it looks like poop. So I have this. This is like an Ogrin magazine. If I put it in here, it kind of creates a big front with upside down Aquila, which doesn't work. And we get rid of this light in this moment. That's why I have so many different pieces that I took out, because I can cut those and have something interesting that I can work with. So let's put, of course, those two pieces to the side because we know that we're going to use the 100%. This is, kit bashing as you go at this best and worst at the same time. Nope, this is awesome gun, but not. So this have some interesting parts in it. Let's try to clean it up and see if any of those parts after cleanup gonna be good enough for what I'm working with. So I'm thinking this cylinder can be something, that could be put in here. And then this entire coil of the gun can be an interesting piece as well. So let's start from this. Let's get this cylinder out. Well, this is a magazine, but it's like a series of cylinders, shape-wise, either way. So we have this. Now I can cut this because there is nothing in here to recover. Come on, don't do that to me. There we go. And as you may notice, I do tend to talk to inanimate objects a lot. So, nope. We're gonna get this cut off. And then we have to cut this as well. So we only need the magazine. Okay. Now we have it, and let's see if that can be squeezed in here. With a little bit more trimming, yes. Let's try this. One side, the other side, and let's see. That's why I don't like to do this stuff live, because I always struggle with it. It's better when it is pre-planned and done with more of an intention. Okay, but this can go in here. It kind of looks like it belongs. So let's just put that through. But now we still have a lot of those flat surfaces that kind of don't belong on this entire rounded piece. So I'm thinking they may have like wires coming out of them. But as well, we have pieces like this that we have left. We have this hand grip, and we have this coil on the top. Those two pieces are actually quite interesting. Let's try to recover them. So first of all this, then we're gonna cut off the front of the gun, and we're gonna keep them the same length. So that front of the gun can probably go in here maybe, or something, just going as a pew pew, but we're gonna leave it. And now we can cut this in half. Ooh, that's gonna be a nightmare. Let's try to use clippers, and then we're gonna try to straighten it up. Maybe it's gonna work, maybe it's gonna fail miserably. Either way, something gonna happen. Okay, we have one nice-ish looking piece, which is the original grip. And then the other one is kind of scuffed because the clippers did have to squeeze it. And I'm supposed to be editing a video for today, and I'm just messing with this. Okay. It feels like I did it correctly, but a little bit of a slant. But that's okay. That can probably give us a chance to fill up those flat spaces somehow. But now it is too long. And this is too long as well. Okay, so those two pieces, we can keep them for future conversions. This is all scrap. Let's put it to the side. Now, what else do I have? I have this little bottle, 3D printed bottle. Maybe it is a extinguisher or something, but maybe I can put it in here. Actually, on the shield side it would be better. Yeah, that kind of breaks the shape that I don't want into something that I can accept. Come on, super glue. I need you because I cannot glue that without a cyanopan. It's not gonna work. Okay, so this broke this shape, which is okay. What I was looking for. Do I want to put a gun in here maybe? Nah, doesn't make sense. Nope. That's the thing, I have a lot of little pieces that I can use, but nothing really speaks to me for that other side. Let's just try to reattach everything that I tried to build at the beginning. No, because it's gonna go in the way if I need to put something here. Let's cut this. Let's just cut it by one segment. Oh, that's always such a weird feeling. That kind of works. Let's put it there. It is not exactly rounded, but it rounds up the entire thing and kind of works in the conception that it is a bike. Yeah, that kind of ribbed surface. And those two flats that we have in here are going to be covered by those two things. That's the idea. So again, let's go back and try to reassemble this. And then we're going to have to figure out the driver, which is going to be a nightmare in its own way. Come on. Okay, so we have this side and now the shield. I wonder if the sprue goop did dry off a little bit. Probably. So let's reactivate this entire thing with the Tamiya Super Tin. And try to attach it. I don't know why I didn't just use super glue here. It would be probably better. Okay, so we have this. It sort of look okay at the front. It's not my best, and most intuitive conversion work, but it is what it is. Now let's give him a personal weapon. So we're gonna throw a pistol on his thigh. Roughly over here. There we go. That actually looks decent. And now we need to build a body for him. And I really don't have anything better in this set of pieces than some of the Enforcers pieces that I found. So I have the Enforcer torso and part of the Enforcer's back, because this guy was actually a driver for the vehicle, for the Tauros, whatever the name of the little tank is. And I'm thinking putting him here, then put something on his back, and then add the arms and the head of some sort. So I'm gonna need to get rid of that neck, because this neck gonna be a problem if I don't put a Enforcer's head on it. So what I'm just doing is cutting out the entire neck area. And trying not to cut my own fingers off in the process. Yeah, of course, there we go. I haven't lost a single finger, which is good. And you know, like, I would love to change that enforcers thing for something else, but I don't think that I have one available at the moment that I could use. So I'm gonna keep this enforcers piece. Let's just put it together with the sprue goop. I don't even know if I'm putting this the right way around. Let's see if this way around gonna be better. Kind of, sort of, yeah. Oh, that's fine. And I'm wondering what kind of head we're gonna use for it. I'm thinking one of those helmeted with the gas mask. This kind of head, but with the gas mask. This one. There we go. I think that would kind of work for this. Let's try to do it. Again, I'm gonna be using sprue goop because there is so much gaps in here that if I just use normal glue, it's never gonna work. So this is sprue goop extravaganza. If somebody loves sprue goop, you know, I highly encourage you to watch this video again. But yeah, you can see how the character is literally just hanging over the controls. And from what I remember, even the originals were like a little bit like this, but they were just hanging over the controls. Or did they sit a little bit more straighter? I don't remember. I threw out the box like ages ago, so I wouldn't remember. And then I have some backpacks. I have this from like some sort of a servitors, and this one. So I can throw a backpack in here to basically cover that hole in his back, and that's gonna kind of work. So I just clear this out a little bit. I'm not sure if it is from the servitor or maybe it is from Genestealer Cold or something. Like, I don't actually own too much of a Genestealer Cold, but I got a beats box from one of my friends that collects Genestealer Colds. Cold? Okay, so this gonna require more of the magical substance called sprue goop. So let's attach this, and that's gonna allow us to completely close that hole in there. And of course a lot of strings going everywhere. Now the head gonna come like that, and that requires again our old friend sprue gooey goop. All right, and of course there is a lot of strings, like with doing something with the, what do you call it, with the hot glue gun. Yeah, but it isn't hot glue gun, obviously. If I just, I'm gonna tack it with the super glue to itself because it's driving me nuts. Okay, it should stop moving now because it is a little bit tucked into this. And now I'm thinking maybe we can give it the most dangerous landing gear. You know, landing on a fuel tank. That's probably insane enough for the Penal Legion. Let's do it. Yeah, it's stupid, it's silly, I love it, so why not? And let's be honest, Rough Riders are not really made to survive. So there you go, that's my landing gear. A fuel tank. And now we need arms for him. So I have this arm, which is kind of a Imperial Guard officer's arm, which really have nothing in it. Let's see if that's gonna kind of work here. Now I'm gluing myself to the model. We are going to that stage of the build when I'm gonna be gluing myself to the model all the time. Let's just wiggle this back into the position. He's sitting in here, and this is still shaking like crazy, even though I did use a lot of super glue. Let's get rid of those little strands. I'm gonna maybe clean them later on. So I have this arm for this side, and we need another arm for the other side. Nope. Maybe this one. This is a Palatine Enforcer's arm. It has some sort of a control sticks in the hands. It is a bit long. That's the problem. Or maybe not. Maybe it isn't. It would actually fit in here. Okay. Our friend Sprugoop. Pew 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 pew, because this is again not exactly as it should be originally. So you're gonna throw this in here, and he's gonna be controlling this here. And I have a second one as well from the Palatine Enforcers. I could probably put them both as the character controlling the bike. It would look decent. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, that's a big string. Oh, let's try this. Yeah, like I said, Sprue Goop Extravaganza. Yeah, because if you cannot fit something, if something isn't right, Sprue Goop gonna fix it. And I think it is almost this what we're supposed to have. Let me just see. I have this wire over here that I can probably use somewhere. Let me just clean it up a little bit. And grab tweezers and figure out if I can fit it somewhere without destroying the entire build. Because at this stage, well, in here that little pipe goes nowhere. And in the small build like that, it could be visible. So if I grab this and just tie it into the inside of the bike, that kind of makes sense. So let's try this. Oh, there is a little knob on the top of it, so it's gonna be a challenge to glue it correctly, especially with everything kind of moving around. That's not bad. Let's give it a wiggle of the plastic. Nope, it isn't working. Okay, let's try this again. This time with the help of our old friend super glue on both sides of this. I was trying to use plastic glue just for the fact that it is better for plastic. But no, reality have to force me to use super glue. Okay, It's not perfect. It is wonky as hell, to be honest, but it is hiding that connection. Mm. All right, so I think that my little scrap Imperial jet bike, is done. I'm gonna have to make a base for it and do something, but it is a kind of a random build for my Penal Legion project. Yeah, and it was quite fun. A little bit frustrating, like always. But tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. It's been half an hour, so if you lasted till now, you are a very patient person. But in the meantime, everyone have a great time and take care. Bye bye.